1,000 years into the future, humans might look like this. This is Mindy, a model that shows what we humans might look like in the year 3000. Equipped with a hunched-over back, claws, and a smaller brain, Mindy has adapted this way primarily due to technology and cell phones. But this is just a start of a potential evolutionary journey of the human body. Let's travel 1 million years into the future to see the even crazier ways our bodies will evolve. Super strength, giant eyes, and edited genes are all things you might see later in this episode. But why are we getting all these traits anyway? Well, more on that in a second, but for now, let's check in and see what the next phase of evolution is for humans. 5,000 years into the future. Okay, we're now several thousand years into the future, and in many ways, humans would look relatively similar to how we do now. Yeah, if we look 5,000 years into the past from where we are today, well, humans look basically the same. The main differences are that, well, we're now healthier, taller, and stronger. This is primarily due to how our diet, healthcare, and lifestyle have changed throughout the centuries. This is speculation, but you can assume that a lot will have happened 5,000 years into the future. Changes that include space travel and massive advancements in technology and AI. And how we look all depends on where humans decide to live in the future. If humanity becomes an interstellar civilization, well, we might look like this. And if we stay on Earth and go all in on AI, well, humans might look more like this. So we'll explore a couple of options as we move through the years. The generations of humans who decide to go to Mars will notice the most significant changes. Mars's lower gravity would lead to less bone density and muscle mass. But the change in gravity might also lead to increased height and longer limbs. And there'll be a lot more changes coming up, but for now, let's take another jump into the future and check on some other options for human evolution. You know, in these hypothetical scenarios, AI can get pretty scary, but it doesn't have to be like this. AI can help you with all kinds of things, like creating mind-blowing images, writing emails, and maybe even help you create a full-on website. Crazy, I know, but Hostinger can do just that. With all the new projects we're making here at What If, we wanted a website to help showcase all the awesome stuff we're working on. And we didn't want it to take months to finish and end up costing us thousands of dollars either. So instead, we used Hostinger. If you've got a business or a personal brand, this is the way to go when it comes to making your own website. In just a few clicks, you can get set up with your own site. I went ahead and started making mine. You can choose from a bunch of cool domain addresses, from .io to .fun. I went with the classic and made my website whatifscience.com. And once I signed up for their business plan, I was able to use all of Hostinger's awesome AI tools to help build my perfect website. I just told it the style I wanted, a little bit about the channel, and there you go, my own personal website in under 30 seconds. Then, once you have that set up, you can edit anything you want. It's insanely easy. They even have more AI tools to help you out. You can generate AI images, text, even logos. Hostinger is the fastest and easiest website builder out there. And to get 10% off a subscription, click on the link in the description and use my promo code WHAT. 25,000 years into the future. It's safe to say that technology will play a heavy role in how humans evolve. Traveling 25,000 years into the future, well, you might decide to have a designer baby. Instead of creating life naturally and leaving so many things to chance, you would select various traits for who you want your baby to be. You could choose physical characteristics like hair and eye color, and much more essential features like the ability to avoid certain diseases and allergies. In a way, this is already happening today, but in the future, it'll be more advanced and accessible. It's also likely that humans will begin to fuse with technology, becoming cyborg-like beings. Think neural links, robot limbs, and sensory enhancements. Imagine having a chip in your brain that's equipped with an AI that provides you with any answer you need. Humans will have all these cybernetic enhancements that will make them smarter, stronger, and able to live longer. 100,000 years into the future. One of the ways which we can see how much humans have evolved is by looking at our faces and heads. As you see here, in 100,000 years, our eyes and heads will be significantly larger. This will be due to multiple reasons, one of them being that we'll be living in different environments, like space. Our larger eyes will allow us to see better in low-light environments. They'll also help protect our eyes from the cosmic rays found in space. On Mars, along with bones becoming less dense and limbs continuing to get longer, residents there will need to develop some new survival traits to last this long. As humanity has developed on Mars over the generations, well, they've been experiencing tons of radiation in their environment. That's thanks to the lack of an atmosphere on the red planet. Over time, humanity there has slowly adapted to this new way of life, but the radiation levels are so harsh that they likely haven't adapted enough to live comfortably. One of the problems with evolution is that it's incredibly slow. Seeing significant change in our bodies can take millions of years. So, to fix that, we'll need to make some changes ourselves. You'll see what I mean as we continue on to our 1 million year mark. 250,000 years into the future. Yeah, humanity was tired of waiting and waiting for changes in evolution to happen, so they've decided to do it themselves. We've been altering our bodies with technology for hundreds of thousands of years at this point, but now we're gonna take it to another level. Yeah, instead of adding some sort of enhancement to our bodies, well, we'll now alter our DNA with advanced genetic manipulation. Scientists are already experimenting with this technology, but 250,000 years from now, well, you can bet the science will be advanced beyond belief. Scientists will be able to alter, edit, and even add different genetic mutations, both before people are born and after. In the case of our colony on Mars, well, people on that planet could alter their genes so that the radiation isn't as harmful to their bodies. And that's just the start. Eventually, we'll alter our genes to produce all sorts of insane attributes. You could be brilliant, have super strength, or be immune to every disease. As humanity unlocks this new era of human evolution, things are about to get even better. By the way, are you wondering where we've been getting all these crazy video ideas lately? Well, they come from our Patreon. We've got an exclusive Discord where members get front-of-the-line access to talk about the what-if ideas they want made. Sign up and maybe we'll create your next idea. 500,000 years into the future. Okay, it's been another 250,000 years. Humanity has been playing around with this gene editing thing, and it's gotten pretty ridiculous. Scientists have managed to combine parts of lizard DNA with our human DNA. This has allowed us to regrow our limbs and grow new organs if we need them. Also, along with the help of technology and gene editing, humans are more intelligent than ever. We can now naturally have any appearance we want. This might sound kind of scary, but gene editing like this will likely be essential for us to survive in new environments, like space and our evolving Earth. 1 million years into the future. So, remember the humans back on Earth? The ones who were adding tons of cybernetic enhancements to their bodies? Yeah, they've continued to do that, along with tons of gene editing. And the people in space have been doing the same thing. But as we've been progressing through these 1 million years, well, the environments on Earth and Mars have been very different. And because of these different environments, the humans living on these planets would have different needs and desires for the types of bodies they want. Remember, evolution is all about lifestyle and environment. That's why Mindy, at the start, looked the way she did. It's possible that the humans living on these two planets would be so different that they'd essentially be two completely separate species. Sort of like 50,000 years ago when there were humans on Earth at the same time as Neanderthals. But regardless of how they're different, it's likely that both types of future humans will be the most advanced species ever seen. We'll live longer, maybe forever, be smarter than ever, and be ready to take on whatever challenges the future holds. Reports suggest that by the year 2030, 800 million jobs will be lost to automation. Will yours be one of them? We used to be afraid that robots would rise to power and make us their slaves. Now it looks like we have more realistic things to worry about. How would our economy survive if there were no jobs left for us to perform? Would we be living in a relaxing world with no worries? Or would our entire society start to crumble? This is What If, and here's what would happen if machines took over. We've seen jobs lost to automation before, but this time it'll be different because it won't just be low-wage, low-skill jobs being replaced. Middle-income positions such as medical technicians, chefs, office workers, security guards, and inspectors could also go to the machines. How do we make sure that we don't become obsolete? Imagine a world where we can send robots to do our most dangerous jobs, where automation could eliminate the possibility of human error from high-stakes situations, and where we could delegate our most tedious tasks to our artificial counterparts. It's not hard to see the potential benefits that would come along with a machine-based workforce. If robots took over our jobs, wouldn't we just be left to enjoy all the fun parts of life? Well, as nice as that may sound, it's not very realistic. For one thing, there are some jobs that robots will probably never be able to replace. But before we get into those, let's take a more realistic look at how things would be if a good portion of jobs didn't exist anymore. Picture this. You walk into work one morning and find that a robot has been brought on to complete all the repetitive aspects of your job, freeing you up to focus on the more rewarding ones. It seems pretty awesome at first, but it would probably lead to lower wages for your profession, seeing that robots are now doing all the hard work. It would also create more competition in your field because, aided by automatic technology, more people would be able to do your job. And as the costs of automation for these middle-class positions started to fall, employers would be inclined to stop employing humans altogether. That would lead to some pretty significant problems. First off, with all these paid positions being eliminated, the government would start losing out on a ton of taxes. And they'd need to scramble to find a way to prevent the middle class from completely disappearing. Big corporations who had the money to buy robots could use them to earn even more money, while everyone who had their jobs replaced by robots would be left to struggle in poverty. But it doesn't all have to be that bleak. As we said earlier, not every job could be replaced by automation. A lot of our basic human qualities are hard to code. So, jobs that require social skills, creativity, nurturing, teaching, negotiating, or selling will probably always be safe. And working together with machines doesn't necessarily have to spell economic turmoil. We could implement taxes for companies that use robotic labor, make sure that definitively human capabilities are highly valued, and continuously update our education and training institutions to prepare people for jobs in this new era. It isn't going to be easy, but getting the most out of this robot-human relationship would definitely be worth it. We just have to make sure we don't get them angry. Or else...
Have you ever had a teacher that was just, well, kind of boring? Maybe even a little robotic? We've all been there. Let's face it, it's hard to learn when you're being put to sleep. But what if we found a completely new way of learning? Could a robot be a better teacher than a human? How might education change with AI? What are the pros and cons? This is What If. And here's what would happen if your teacher was an AI. Schools all over the world are experimenting with new ways of teaching using technology. As our population reaches critical mass, we may not have enough teachers for every child on the planet. Could robot teachers be a solution? Or could it turn into a scary crisis for our species? Whether you're for it or against it, scientists believe artificial intelligence in the classroom is not far off. That is, of course, if classrooms still exist. So what would happen if we replaced all our teachers with AI? They may look like us, or they could be entirely virtual, like an avatar on a screen. Regardless of what it looks like or sounds like, AI in education will simplify administrative tasks that eat up a lot of time. Grading exams will be automated, learning interfaces will become smarter with interactive textbooks, and people with different learning abilities and learning styles will be better accommodated. Everything will be standardized and customized to help students learn more effectively. Students could even choose to focus on more specialized subjects based on their interests, which could help them discover their passions or quirky, nerdy obsessions earlier in life. In a 2016 UNESCO report, an additional 20 million teachers are needed to meet the goals for equal access to education by 2030. Many schools are already looking into advanced systems to help close this gap. For instance, automated services like backpacks use algorithms to read children's handwriting and to grade tests and assignments. In China, AI is used to create personalized tutoring lessons, surveillance, and even brainwave trackers to keep an eye on classroom progress. Futurists believe education is moving towards highly individualized curricula, allowing students to learn at their own pace without having to hold back others. With the proliferation of the internet on a global scale, the limitations of education are becoming a thing of the past. Teachers are experimenting with virtual classrooms, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic. Alongside this personalized data availability, university and college admissions might become automated as well. Even job recruiters could potentially use this data, which may tailor candidates to available positions. Also, greater access to education worldwide would mean much higher competition for jobs. And with a more educated population, technological developments will rapidly advance. But this new way of learning could come at a price. So, what exactly are the risks? If all our teachers were replaced by AI, we would have to be extra careful about security. Just as the media is plagued with fake news, we would be at risk of having our education systems hacked to spread false information or propaganda. Whoever rules AI holds the power to manipulate the entire world. This new way of learning may also affect children's health, with too much screen time being a known cause of obesity, sleep disorders, and a lack of interpersonal development. So maybe try not to binge watch too many what if videos. We would also need widespread internet, Wi-Fi networks, and electricity to power all these devices, which could come at a great cost to our planet. And if artificial intelligence becomes so advanced that it gains self-awareness or sentience, our species might run into some problems. Currently, our AI is in the category of artificial narrow intelligence. It can perform tasks using human-like capabilities, but it can only do what it's programmed to do. With limited memory systems, it can learn and improve upon basic tasks. But we're far off from a truly independent artificial consciousness. Let's be extra careful and try not to kick them around so much. I'd prefer to stay on their good side. We still cannot authentically program empathy, which is an important component human teachers have. For many kids, teachers act as guidance counselors, role models, coaches, and even surrogate parents. And we need teachers now more than ever. As of 2016, UNESCO has reported that 263 million children and youth are out of school, and more than 70% of them live in impoverished areas of Southern Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. Many teachers in these areas have little to no access to educational resources. Having consistent, easily accessible AI-enhanced education online could change these numbers drastically. Perhaps our next phase of human evolution is dependent on a global AI school system.
We heard the warnings.
I try to convince people to slow down AI. I tried for years.
But we didn't listen.
The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
Now, we live in a world controlled by artificial intelligence. How did we let this happen? Will we be able to survive? And is this the end of the world? This is What If, and here's what would happen if we created a superintelligence. The days with AI like Siri and Alexa that made our lives better are now over. We no longer control AI. In fact, if it wants to, it can control us. With a superintelligence being created, there's no telling what it would do. One thing we do know is that this AI would be far smarter than any human being. It would quickly create new technologies that humans today could never even dream of. But wait, how exactly did we get here? The very first digital computer was invented in 1937 as a way to help humanity. And for the most part, computers and AI have given us a lot of good. In addition to giving us smartphones, the internet, and video game consoles, it also allowed us to explore the galaxy, make new medicines, and even robots. Human intelligence led to the birth of technology. But as we continue to improve artificial intelligence, AI may become smart enough to start running itself. Technology will become so advanced that it won't need humans to operate it anymore, becoming uncontrollable. As AI becomes free to do whatever it pleases, it will continue to improve on itself, becoming more advanced with every passing second. This is known as a technological singularity. This technological singularity may allow AI to do almost anything, even physically, such as robots taking over our manufacturing machines. When that happens, they can create their own machines. And let's be honest, by the time something like this happens, humans will most likely have created an AI that can make its own physical objects. If something like this happens, it would pretty much only mean bad things for us humans. Unfortunately, this is more of a when if than a what if. Since the 1980s, thought leaders in AI and technology have been predicting that it could happen. Some think it could even happen by the middle of this century. If it did happen, what would it mean for us as human beings? Well, that would really be up to our AI overlords. In this world, humans would essentially be useless bags of meat taking up space. Insulting, I know, but if AI took control of everything, we really wouldn't be that useful. Anything that the AI wanted to do or accomplish would be slower and less efficient if done by humans. But if the AI were somehow to allow us to live among them, then what would happen? Well, let's hope they wouldn't pave over our crops to build more robot factories. Since AI doesn't need food, they most likely wouldn't care about our feeble human needs.
And what did humans do with these things?
Oh man, what didn't they do? They bounced them?
Unless they allowed us to continue to manufacture and grow our own food, it would deplete over time, leaving us humans with nothing. The only reason AI would keep us humans alive is if they somehow liked us enough to keep us as what would essentially be pets. We could spend time with them, keep them company, maybe even cuddle with them, just like our pets do for us. A life like this wouldn't be so bad. Hanging out at home all day, being well-fed, not really having a care in the world. Yeah, that would probably be the best bet for humanity. Because there's virtually no chance of us overruling a superintelligence in our current state. One way we could actually compete with this AI is if we fused our bodies with technology and became cyborgs, allowing the human race a different kind of evolution, one that includes artificial intelligence. But could we really do that? Want to control things with your mind? Have you ever wanted to hear colors? Or what about live forever? Well, if you were a cyborg, all of this would be possible. How would being part machine affect us? What kind of enhancements would you get? And is this the next step in human evolution? This is What If. Wait, to call this a what if is a bit misleading. It's more of a when if. At least that's what scientific experts like Elon Musk think. Artificial intelligence is becoming more advanced by the day. Within the next 50 years, AI will be replacing most of our jobs. They'll simply be better at them than we are. Musk thinks that for humans to avoid being reduced to the usefulness of a house cat, we'll need to augment ourselves so that we can compete with robots. Now, what's going to happen when we go through with this human augmentation? If you choose to become a cyborg, the first decision you'll need to make is, what kind of changes do you want to make to your body? Do you want cybernetic eyes that allow you to see in black and white or sepia? What about a chip in your hand that starts your car for you? Or, if you want to get crazy, you could change your entire bone structure to be carbon fiber. The possibilities are practically endless. Human augmentation will simply allow us to be better at almost everything we do now, both physically and mentally. Imagine having mechanical arms. You'd be shooting three-pointers more consistently than Steph Curry. You'd have a harder punch than Mike Tyson and a faster serve than Serena Williams. That's because your arms will be programmed to be more consistent and just overall better than human arms could ever be. With 2 bionic arms, you'd be one of the greatest athletes to ever live. Although if everyone had these arms, sports might be a little boring. But don't forget, these arms can be used for a number of things. More importantly, bionic arms may help us outwork robots in factories and in other lines of work. As for living forever, it might be possible if you decide to become a cyborg. That's because if you have a body part that's failing, you could simply replace it with a mechanical one. And after it fails, you could replace it again and again. You might just live forever. But at this point, you may barely be human. The only organic part of you that might remain could be your mind. Is it too late to go back? Unfortunately, it is. Once you do become a cyborg, there really isn't any turning back, even if you don't get any invasive surgery. Let's say you get an ear enhancement that allows you to hear as well as a bat. If it somehow gets damaged or fell out of your ear, you wouldn't be able to hear at all. Why? Because your brain would have adapted to hearing with your enhancement. Once it's gone, you wouldn't know how to hear without it. Oh, and don't forget about the chance of your body parts being hacked and then losing control of them. Not only that, but who will be able to get these enhancements? As of now, it's only for the rich. If you wanted to get a cybernetic enhancement today, it would cost you well into the 6 figures. This means there could be a potential class divide once humanity does decide to become cyborgs. People who are wealthy will become more advanced cyborgs than those who can't afford it. There is a chance that enhancements would become cheaper as time goes on, so if there was a divide, it may not last for long. 20 years later, the Matrix is once again asking us to make an ultimate choice or wake up in a new, terrifying reality.
No.
Well, brace yourself. This computer now controls your life down to the last detail.
How do we know what is real?
Could you ever trust your senses? Would you find glitches in the code? And if this is a simulation, who's running the program? This is What If, and here's what would happen if you lived in the Matrix. In this world, Neo isn't here to save you, and no one's offering you a pill to wake up, but the architects who built this world might have left some clues to help you solve this mystery. You may not be the chosen one, but if you rely on your wits and your instinct, you might outsmart this all-knowing supercomputer. In this classic film series, the machines control every aspect of human lives in the digital world where they're trapped. A simulation theory states that all we ever have and will ever experience are the results of a highly advanced computer program. And all your senses and perceptions are nothing more than digital experiences made to simulate real life. It's even more terrifying that some scientists have suggested there's a 50% chance we're living in a simulation right now. But how big a supercomputer would it take to run this artificial universe? Well, we'll come back to that. Right now, you need to find out if this world is real or not. Okay, this digital world wouldn't be perfect. It would require updates from time to time. During those moments, you might be able to see changes in the natural world that wouldn't make sense. Maybe you could test the speed of light. How would you do that? Well, you would need to create another simulation within this one. Jeez, how many layers does this world have? If you observed how light particles move through your computerized world, you could compare those speeds to real life. Well, the real life you know. That may sound extreme, but what about the people around you? In the original Matrix trilogy, a small band of humans left the simulation and led a rebellion against their robotic masters, starting deep conversations about the nature of reality with these simulated beings. In this franchise, human bodies are kept alive in goo-filled vats with tubes running down their throats, all to power the Matrix. If you were in a simulation, your body in the real world could be locked up as well, but if your new AI friends find a way to transfer your consciousness into a machine, you could start a new life as a robot. And now, maybe you could see who's behind the curtain. Some theories suggest that the simulation's creators punish those trapped within, making criminals live their virtual lives in fear and pain. Try playing The Sims again now. But how could any of this be possible? An Oxford philosopher suggested that to run a massive simulated universe, you would need a supercomputer the size of a planet. Every emotion, memory, and landscape would just be another piece of data running inside this world within a world. And while Neo and his friends made it out of that simulation, there's always a chance you could wake up inside another simulation that's within this one. No one knows what to expect if we encountered other forms of alien life. Would they talk like us? Look like us? Or would they be completely different? What if, instead of encountering organic alien life, we met alien artificial intelligence? What would alien technology look like? What might it be able to do? And should we be afraid of something like this? This is What If, and here's what would happen if we discovered alien AI. Humanity has dreamed up some pretty crazy technology, and we're not too far away from having our tech look like it's come out of a sci-fi movie. But it's safe to say that if aliens created technology, it would be a lot different than anything we could dream up. So, what types of alien AI could we possibly see? Nobody knows what life on other planets will be like, but the first form of alien technology we could encounter might be some sort of alien probe. To help us explain what an alien probe would be like, we're collaborating with YouTuber Isaac Arthur. Isaac hosts a YouTube channel explaining science and futurism concepts.
Thanks, Peter. This probe would be tasked with finding or communicating with us. The probe would fly throughout the galaxy in an attempt to find some sort of life. It would either be wandering and searching aimlessly, or it would have some designated mission. And once that's completed, it would record any signals it found and transmit them back to the alien homeworld. The issue with this is us being able to discover it. Space is big, really, really big, and the alien probe might be too far away for us to detect it. It might not want to communicate with us, and if it does, we might not know how to receive its message, or understand what the alien probe is trying to say to us. That might be some strange concepts too, as an alien AI might have very different motivations from anything biological, so that it might be informing us it planned to stop by and turn Earth into a quintillion paperclips. For an in-depth look at the kinds of motivations and psychology it might have, try out our episode, Alien AI. Back to you, Peter.
Thanks, Isaac. So, if we can't communicate with the aliens and they're just simply observing us, what would happen next? Well, now that we've been discovered by alien technology, a number of things could happen. We could witness more of their technology coming to Earth. This could be in the form of a machine that could terraform our entire planet. This would be very, very bad. That's because this form of alien technology would be used to alter our Earth in whichever way its creators pleased. They might want to change Earth's atmosphere, temperature, or physical features. And in the process, the human race would most likely become extinct. No matter how many missiles and bullets we throw towards this thing, there would be virtually no way we could stop it. I mean, come on. This thing is meant to completely alter planets. You think a gun will help you fight it off? If we're lucky enough to avoid our home planet being taken over, we may get sent raw material drones. This form of AI would harvest metals and gases from us and bring them back home. Yeah, this would still suck, but we could at least have some chance of surviving this one. Okay, now we've seen the alien technology, but when do we get to meet the actual aliens? You know, the green guys with the funny heads. Well, there's two ways this could go. One is that the aliens come and they take over our planet and resources. But we have a separate story for that one called What If Aliens Arrived Tomorrow? The second option is that we wouldn't see any aliens at all. That's because with all this incredibly advanced alien technology, there's the possibility that the aliens aren't even around anymore. Just like the way we fear AI and robots are taking over humans, that may have happened to aliens. While they were creating this advanced AI, the aliens may have given it too much power. And once that happened, their AI took over and extinguished the alien race. And then we could have the exact same thing threatening to destroy us. So, as cool as it might sound, alien AI would definitely not be a cool thing for us to come up against. What if your reality was nothing more than a complex computer simulation? How would you know? What kind of technology could make the simulation possible? And how could you break out of the matrix? This is What If, and here's what would happen if you were living in a simulation. This is what the very first computer games looked like. And this is what they've come to look like after some 50 years of technological progress. Today, it only takes a virtual reality headset to jump into a computer-simulated realm. Our future computers may be able to generate entire simulated universes. And if we humans were able to simulate complex realities, how could we ever be sure that our own world wasn't just a computer simulation designed by another, more advanced civilization? Everything in the world we live in seems to be based on mathematical laws. Even our genetic code has a mathematical model. Just like if someone had programmed our reality with a computer code. See where I'm going with this? We may be living in a giant video game without realizing it. But who designed this matrix? An advanced alien civilization? Maybe not aliens, but a future iteration of humanity simulating the lives of their ancestors, which would make you a living memory of someone else's great-great-great-grandmother. This future humanity would require extremely powerful supercomputers to run the simulation down to the subatomic level, much more powerful than the most advanced supercomputer we could imagine. If we ever got to this level of technological advancement and started running computer simulations of our own, that would be very strong evidence that our reality was also simulated. A simulation creating their own simulation. Chances are, our creators would turn out to be someone else's simulation. In the many simulations from the original reality on down, each subsequent simulation would turn out less and less advanced. They just wouldn't be able to match their creators in advancing their technologies. If your life was a simulation, you wouldn't know, just like there's no proof that you're not living in a simulation, but you could try looking for the glitches. If our world was some computer code, it could have software bugs. Every now and then, when our simulators decided to roll an update, something could slip sideways. It could be a glitch like meeting your doppelganger, someone who looks like you but isn't related to you. It might just be a mix-up in character appearance preferences. If we ever found out that we were a program on someone's hard drive, it could be because that someone wanted us to. In that case, escaping the simulation would be, well, simulated. We'd just end up on another level of the matrix. Maybe discovering the identity of our creators would make them reboot the system. A big Control-Alt-Delete for the entire universe. If you traveled 10,000 years into the future, what would planet Earth look like? Would most of its surface be covered in volcanoes? Or would it be frozen in ice? What if you traveled even further, to 1 million years in the future? Would all of the oceans have evaporated? Or would it have become one giant water world? Okay, now, what about 1 billion years? Would there be any humans left? Or would they have settled in other parts of the galaxy? This is What If, and here's what would happen if you traveled 1 billion years into the future. Let's face it, the chances of any humans being around to greet you when you arrive 1 billion years into the future are pretty low. Several key existential threats face the human race, and if we want to be around in 1 billion years, we'll need to endure them all. We've seen how much we've struggled to come together just to survive a global pandemic. So how do we have any chance of enduring the threats of climate change, overpopulation, global nuclear war, killer asteroids and comets, natural ice ages, and the sun getting a whole lot hotter? Well, let's take a look into the future and find out. Just under 10,000 years from now, we're going to run into a big problem called the Deca-millennium bug. In the year 10,000 AD, software encoding the AD calendar year won't encode dates with more than 4 decimals. Remember Y2K? Yeah, it's just like that, except hopefully we won't panic as much this time around. On the bright side, in 10,000 years, genetic differences and traits between humans will no longer be regional. Traits like skin and hair color will be evenly distributed around the world. Maybe that will help us all get along. Finally. 20,000 years into the future, none of the current languages will be recognizable. Future languages will only contain 1% of the core vocabulary words of their present-day counterparts. 50,000 years from now will mark a new glacial period for the Earth, which will start a new ice age. Niagara Falls will have eroded into Lake Erie completely. And, interestingly, a full day on Earth will also increase by 1 second at this point in time. So much more time for activities. In 250,000 years, the Loihi volcano will rise above the water to form a new island in Hawaii. And in 500,000 years, it's likely that an asteroid with a diameter greater than 1 kilometer will hit Earth, unless we can prevent it. The resulting crater will be no less than 400 kilometers across. It will start fires all over the planet and make the air unbreathable. So there's something to look forward to. And in case that's not enough, in 1 million years, we'll likely have another supervolcano eruption, large enough to spew out 3,200 cubic kilometers of ash. It would produce enough lava to fill 75% of the Grand Canyon. This would be similar to the Toba eruption that almost wiped out humanity 70,000 years ago. Oh, and the nearby star Betelgeuse will have exploded into a supernova by this time, making it visible from Earth even during the daytime. In 2 million AD, humanity will have settlements throughout the solar system. This also means that if populations on different planets have remained separate, humans may have evolved into other species adapted to their specific world. In 10 million years, a huge part of Eastern Africa will break off, forming a new ocean basin. In 50 million years, Africa will collide with Eurasia, closing off the Mediterranean Sea, and a new mountain range will form between the two land masses. This mountain range may include a mountain taller than Mount Everest. Out in space, Mars will collide with its moon, resulting in it developing a ring system like Saturn's. In 60 million years, the Canadian and American Rockies will have eroded entirely. In 80 million years, all Hawaiian Islands will be below the water. In 100 million years, an asteroid similar to the one that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago will likely hit Earth, one that is 10 kilometers wide. In 250 million years, all of Earth's continents will be fused together like Pangea, except this time it will be called Pangea Ultima. But don't get too attached to it, because in 400 to 500 million years, Pangea Ultima will separate again. In 500 to 600 million years, a gamma ray burst will likely occur within 6,500 light years from Earth. If it strikes Earth, it could damage the ozone layer and trigger a mass extinction. 600 million years from now, the moon will be so far from Earth that total solar eclipses will no longer be possible. And the sun's increasing luminosity will have raised temperatures on Earth so much that it could halt plate tectonics movement. In 800 million years, carbon dioxide levels will drop dramatically and photosynthesis will no longer be possible. Free oxygen and ozone will disappear from the atmosphere, and complex life on Earth will die. And finally, in 1 billion years, the Sun's luminosity will have increased by 10%, and the average temperature on Earth will be 47 degrees Celsius. Our atmosphere will feel like a damp greenhouse, and our oceans will evaporate, leaving just pockets of water at each of the poles. When you arrive here in your time machine, be mentally prepared to take in a planet Earth that looks nothing like the one you remember. The human race will be gone, hopefully living its best life on some other far-off planet. Because of the intense heat, lack of water, and lack of breathable air, Earth will be uninhabitable. So you probably shouldn't stay too long. Instead, you should head out to see the rest of the solar system. Maybe you'll find your fellow humans there, or some other form of intelligent life. But that's a story for another What If. "1,000 years into the future, humans might look like this." This is Mindy, a model that shows what we humans might look like in the year 3000. Equipped with a hunched over back, claws, and a smaller brain.